Kevin, so your whole thing is the no bullshit buy box. Does that mean most investors are just winging it and lying to themselves? What was the one project that almost nearly broke you financially or maybe mentally?
This is another mistake that I made, and I don't mind sharing these things because these are things that people need to take from me and my mistake and failure so that they don't do themselves.
What's the single hardest lesson you've learned from scaling a 20 million ADU portfolio? Yeah. What would you do differently if you had to start over, or maybe not?
I would say that...
Right. Welcome back, guys, to Straight to the Point. I'm your co-host, Tristan Guerrero with West Coast Property Bros. Today, we have on a very special guest. We have on Kevin. Today, he's made some time to talk on the show and talk about more on the ADU game and inspiring you guys to get into there. So, Kevin, thank you for coming on today. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
So, it's been some back and forth, but we made it happen.
Right.
So, thanks for making it out here.
Totally. But yeah, let's get right into the episode here for us. Was getting into the ADU game the smartest move of your career or the riskiest gamble you ever took?
You know, to be honest with you, everything we do in life has some sort of gamble and risk, right?
Yeah.
You don't truly know what the outcome 100% will be. The only thing I can say for the ADU play specifically is that I think it was just timing. That it was just there for me to try to grab hold of this play. And it's been booming in, the West Coast primarily in the last 7 to 8 years with the 15,000% growth. So we're looking at, tremendous value adding play here. And what better play out there is than the ADU play, and I've been building ADU for people, 20 years in the construction industry. So I see the ins and the outs and if it's actually a good play or not. So, I just took it and ran with it.
Wow, that's pretty cool. How'd you get into it in the first place?
So originally, so ADU has been around since the 70s and the 80s in California, right? A lot of people don't know that.
Interesting, yeah.
But back then they were considered small granny flats, a few hundred square feet in the back or a casita, and getting permits for them weren't that favorable. You had to go through a long string process to get it done. It didn't value add quite how it is right now. So, because how things are streamlined for permitting and process, especially here in San Diego, I just see so many people, my past clients who wanted to build ADUs, like in the 2015, 2016 timeframe.
Yeah.
And I slowly looked more into it. It's like, why is everyone building ADUs now? Right?
Yeah.
Like, why is this a play right now, right? Because it's been around forever, but now all of a sudden everyone's doing it. So I see that the progress that it had made, that's what made me jump into it, man.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that because I didn't even know about it until people started getting into it within the last 5 years. I feel like.
And not only that, believe it or not, if you and here's another thing for your listener who's out there who's new to real estate investing who don't understand. Real estate investing is very hyper local, and what that means is that it's depending on the market you're in. Real estate investing in Dallas might be different than in New York, might be different than Miami and SoCal.
Right.
You don't talk about ADUs in the mid, central area of the United States. They don't do that kind of stuff, right? It's really only in the dense area. So mainly West Coast and slowly trickling into East Coast right now. I have people in Miami and Orlando who's starting to do it. New York starting to doing it.
Wow.
So it's only in 13 states. And so, real estate investing is very hyper local, and understanding that will help you understand if ADU is the right play for you.
Totally. Wow. Yeah, I got into kind of watching your content, getting into the ADU play like that, and I'm like, man, it kind of inspired me to want to learn how to get into it, And I feel like there may be people like in our generation out there that are kind of afraid to take that step, kind of like myself, because maybe we just don't know,
right?
All right, and Kevin, so your whole thing is the no bullshit buy box. Does that mean most investors are just winging it and lying to themselves?
I wouldn't consider lying to themselves. Like, I would just say investors and people in real estate just don't truly understand what it takes to dial in the buy box, and they overlook it. They think it's just another small little tool that, they can not put too much emphasis into it. But the buy box is what will truly give you a good deal or a bad deal, right? A deal that makes money or a deal that just barely covers enough to not lose money. Right?
Okay.
So understanding the buy box is going to help real estate investors out there find the right deal that they can make money right away.
Right.
And like for me, just the basic stuff, right? For ADU buy box, you got to understand your price point, right? Understand location, understand that you're buying to exit or you're buying to hold. it has different implications on how you want to exit the deals and how you structure the deal. So understanding the buy box is the first step truly that you need to learn to make sure that you don't lose money.
What does a buy box like entail? If you can dive deeper into that, is that kind of just like what you just briefly mentioned there?
Criteria,
Okay.
man. I mean, understanding you're buying either a multifamily or the asset class, right?
Okay.
Asset one. Understanding the purchase price point, your range, an A, B, C, or D location.
Right.
And then understanding what your exit strategy is on the buy box. Understanding that if you're going to do a fix and flip or burn model in ADU, what kind of play it is. So all of those are just the basic stuff. Of course, once you go into underwriting, then it gets a little bit more in detail, in depth. But just understanding how to fine tune your buy box will help you not lose money.
Oh, okay. Interesting. How are you able to do it for yourself?
For me, basically, it's from experience, man.
Okay.
I learned through my experience of what works, what doesn't work, what kind of property I need to be looking for. From the experience of building for clients, I see what's working for them, what didn't work for them. And that gives me the ability to now go out there and just look at a piece of property or a piece of dirt, and I know if I can build an ADU or not on there and value add that way. So understanding that will help. And that's why when we're talking about, and I know this is on your other question, but when you're talking about real estate investing, sometime joining the right group of mentorship or the mastermind will help give you the experience you lack on understanding how to dial in your buy box.
Totally. Yeah. Being in the right rooms will help educate you too.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a coach or mentor yourself that helped you get to this point?
In the very beginning, I didn't, and I wish I did. It would have maybe cut a lot of times from me making all the mistakes and failures that I've made in the last 7-8 years of doing real estate investing. I still make mistakes today.
Yeah.
Mistakes are there to help you become better at what you're doing, right? So I embrace the mistake. The biggest thing is, do you own up to your mistakes and do you learn from something from that? But today, I do have mentorships and people that I reach out to when I need help. I'm part of the Boardroom Mastermind. I was part of Springboard to Wealth. I'm no longer part of that, but Dash is always a brother to me. So I always can reach out to him, hopefully, for questions I might have on certain deals. So I do have people that I can go to for when I do need it. And sometimes you do need it. Sometimes you make certain mistakes and you need these kind of people to, kind of slap you on the head a little bit, like a parent or an older brother, right?
Totally.
Just to snap you out of it to get you back on track.
Totally. Now, when you say joining the right mastermind, what kind of advice could you give to someone that's watching and may not know what a mastermind is to make sure they're going into the right mastermind?
I think that the connotation of understanding what a true mastermind is kind of like blur. Honestly, a mastermind is a group of people who is doing the same thing or better than you that come collectively together and everyone shares their piece of advice or how they can help each other out to become better. That's a mastermind, right? To me.
Totally.
A lot of what I'm seeing nowadays are more like coaching program disguised as mastermind, and they're just trying to make a quick buck if they can. So understanding what truly you're there for makes a difference. So like for example, I think we were talking a little bit offline, but finding the right mastermind group that can align in what you're trying to get on your outcome. So if you're trying to go in there and learn fix and flip, focus on a group, a coaching program that focuses on fix and flip, right? There's many out there. You just gotta find the right one. So understanding what you truly want to learn from, be specific and be intentful on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. How were you able to define the ones that you're a part of today?
For me, I'm very picky, dude. And so like I wouldn't say test, but I always try to do really deep due diligence on the group or the mastermind groups that I'm joining to make sure that I can get what I want out of it from that group and or that one person that I'm asking for help from, right?
Totally.
The second thing would be alignment on value, right? I have a big strict policy on not having to deal with a bunch of douchebags because they are all out there, dude, and especially the real estate game, dude. I mean, real estate is a it's a contact sport. You have to be out there, you have to talk, you have to mingle with people to grow your business. But there are a lot of douchebags out there, dude, and guys who feel entitled, and I hate that shit. I just put it out there because, it's there, and I've experienced it. So,
yeah. Dang. Well, that sounds pretty rough. Like, because you may not know. Like,
nah, man. This is the thing, dude.
Until you do it.
This is the real raw fact, and the real world of real estate investing and real estate itself. Like, people go on podcasts, people share, people talk, but they don't talk what's real out there. Like, I don't mind going on there and sharing my own feelings and thoughts, and the people who like it, good. If they don't like it, they can just change the channel.
Totally.
Yeah.
That goes for anything.
Yeah.
Like all the haters out there. Okay, cool.
Yep.
But for the people that actually love watching what I have to say, cool, perfect. You're my biggest raging fans. So.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, totally. Well, going off that note, I'm kind of bringing the topic back on the ADUs. Is San Diego's ADU boom really like the opportunity, or is it already overcrowded with dreamers who won't survive the grind?
It's the opportunity, dude. Like, I'm saying the next 10 years is still going to be the opportunity. It's only going to continue growing on that. And the reason being is the projection of what we're seeing happening in San Diego and the West Coast and the ADU play itself, right? It's growing in popularity because people now see the true value of how much value add they can do from adding an ADU. Before, there's not any track record or history that showcase true comps for ADU play. But now in the last 3, 4, 5 years, we're starting to see comps. We're starting to see true value of them. And, with the condomizing play where you actually can, have the ability to condo map it and then sell these individually. Dude.
Yeah, I think that's game changer.
That's a game. I mean, I'll give you an example. In Seattle, these guys they don't have the bonus program, but they have the lot split program, like almost like SB9 here.
Yeah.
They would lot split. They would create multiple ADU units, including a new single family unit in that same
same lot.
Land.
Yeah.
And a single ADU for 1,000 square feet goes anywhere between $600,000 to $700,000. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's Seattle.
Oh my God.
That kind of play, gets people excited, especially in the real estate, investing industry.
Totally.
So.
Yeah, I think that was huge because I remember learning all this. This all happened for me back in college when SB9 finally passed.
Yep.
I was like, dang, you can actually buy property, buy piece of land, and you could subdivide it like a little mini like master plan community and just sell off each one individually.
And basically you're getting this for free because if you really think about the ADU play, you're buying a single family in front and you're getting the backyard for free. Right? Most of the time you would actually have to buy a piece of raw dirt and then develop it out or split it somehow, some way. With the ADU play, you're essentially getting the backlot for free, right? Buy one, get one free. And then now you can add value add onto there, tie everything into the main infrastructure of the house. And then, it's just tremendous what you can do with the ADU play.
Oh, totally. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Now, with different rules around different jurisdictions, local jurisdictions that try to prevent that from happening because of overcrowding, how are you able to navigate that but still be able to produce ADUs on different investments going forward?
So here's the thing. Like, people don't understand, and I know you're in San Diego, so you look at things from a San Diego perspective, meaning that there's a bonus program. And for some of your listeners out there that don't understand, in San Diego we have something called the ADU bonus program where you can build up to now 6 units on a certain lot. Half of those have to be deed restricted, so it's under rental income base, and so it's controlled, but it's still worth it because if you look at the amount of value we're getting on a single unit here is roughly about $200,000-300,000 a unit. So if you add 6 units, that's adding $1.8 million in value add onto the property. If you don't have the luxury of doing a bonus program, right, just doing a basic ADU add on the back, right, and then converting your garage into a JADU, you're still able to turn from a 1 to a 3 unit. So you're still value adding tremendously just on that basic ADU play right there.
Totally. Does there ever come to a point where there's too many on one lot?
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's.
I remember there was one that put like 17 on one here.
Yeah, in Claremont Mesa, there's 17. There's one right now going, into motion right here in PB for 144 units. It's going to look like an apartment complex, and but these are outliers who are just taking advantage of the bonus program we have here, and making it bad for actual real estate investors like us in San Diego. But like I said, you can still utilize the basic 180U in the back, convert the garage into JADU, and still make a killing. It's just going to take more properties to do it, but it's still going to be worth it.
Yeah, totally.
I think the biggest thing people need to ask themselves is that what is their end goal? Like, what is it that they're comfortable at the end of the day? Are they comfortable with 10,000 a month ad and cash flow? If that's the case, you only need to do about 3 properties with that ADU play over time, and you'll be able to generate that $10,000 a month net cash flow, right? Just around 3 properties.
Wow. Dang, that's huge.
Yeah.
Now, out of the 100 plus ADUs that you've constructed and built out, what was the one project that almost nearly broke you financially or maybe mentally?
I think that this is another mistake that I made, and I don't mind sharing these things because these are things that people need to take from me and my mistake and failure so that they don't do themselves. And I'm open to being vulnerable about it because I have found a way to restructure things from this past. But the ones that got me really were when they first introduced the bonus program. Because when you're taking a single family and then you're adding 2-3 units and then it's about a 4 unit and below, everything in the lending space world is still residential. But the moment you take anything above 5 unit, it becomes commercial.
Right.
And I truly didn't understand the difference being that huge and the ADU being so new that lenders are hesitant to lend towards ground up construction for multi-unit because they don't understand how these things were comped at the time. And we're talking about a few years ago, not that long. But so what killed me is that, lenders that I have a relationship with, they'd be like, yeah, Kevin, don't worry, I got you. We can do this.
Yeah.
We can get this done like that. The next thing you know, it goes into escrow, and we are now 3 months into escrow, extended multiple times.
Yeah.
And we can't close on it because the lender cannot perform.
Wow.
And that have led not just deal loss and money on EMDs, that led me to have loss on partnership where I had struggled to maintain, that length of time of escrow being pulled out. And I learned the hard way. And, this is something that my mentor at that time, Dash, he was like, Kevin, you need to clean up the mess because things were getting too messy, right? With these deals being constructed, and I had people in there, I had money in there that need to be resolved somehow, some way. So I lost a lot of money from those kind of deals.
Wow.
And those things are what people need to understand that, this is where you were asking about, is the risk worth it?
Yeah.
So at that time, if you asked me that question, I'll be like, damn, no. Because it was a lot of stress that was put on me and my family and the business itself. And we weren't able to execute on what we promised people we can. But, up to now, I'm able to say that I own up to the mistakes I've had.
Right.
Any money that I've lost with partners, I made sure I paid them back, and we continue moving forward. And once we move forward, we find ways to either raise capital differently, maybe go out and raise a debt fund model, and then use funds differently instead of bringing on syndication. And then we learned that maybe structuring the deal needs to be different, right? So that's more into depth. And that's where if you join like my ADU Mastermind, that's things that I share to the community and the groups. But and just on high level surface, I mean, yeah, man, I made mistakes, and those ADU plays where they switch over from giving you the ability to just do one to now doing bonus program, that really got me, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
As a lot of people get into it and not know what they're getting into by doing it. They think like, oh wow, I can just do that, boom, put that in, and we're done, right? Yeah. But you don't understand.
In the basic realm of real estate investing, like a basic fix and flip or a basic property rehab value add BRRRR model, I get it, man. I mean, it's not complicated. Like I mentioned to you earlier offline, I mean, a lot of times in real estate investing, it's really just common sense, right?
Yeah.
If you have common sense, you can do real estate investing, dude. Right? Plus relationship that you had to build on.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. You mentioned that you have your own mastermind, right? And you run that here in San Diego. Yeah. Now, be real, is a mastermind worth it or just kind of a fancy way to charge people? So kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, like, is it?
For me, I would like to say that in my purpose, it's worth it. Yeah. Because my purpose is not here to make money off of people that way.
Right.
My purpose is that I'm sharing back and inspiring people to go out there and do it themselves. Right? Using my experience, using my failures so that they don't trip and fall their way. Right?
Totally.
They're still going to fail somehow, some way, but it's going to be less painful. Right? Because they've heard it from me and my failures and my mistakes. for a lot of people out there who are just doing mastermind for the money, look, I get it, man. It's business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And like me trying to take advantage of the ADU play, they're taking advantage of this mastermind, this educational space right now in this industry with social media and everything. So I get it, man. People need to, create more cash flow. I'm doing it myself, but in the ADU space way. And then creating the mastermind just creates that environment of me giving back to the community as much as I can, because at the end of the day, that's always been my kind of like my life goal, right? So it comes in phases, though. It's funny because I'm only 38, so I say only, but I'm only 38. But I have made so many failures in the past in businesses where I think I have some sort of wisdom to give back to people. But then there are times where I keep making mistakes, like the one I mentioned with the ADU bonus program.
Yeah.
And then that like, damn, do I really have what it takes to like help people or teach people or coach people? I mean, it puts you into weird phases in life, but I just gotta continue through and be consistent, and grind it out. And I think I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, totally. Have you had a student that joined your mastermind that has got to where you're at or surpassed you?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I hope soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yet, but I hope soon. Because, look, I've been doing construction again for 20 years, real estate investing for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that I've been through that someone who just stepped foot into real estate investing, they're just barely starting, dude.
Totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not here to say that I'm super successful, but I'm here to say that I've been through enough to know the ins and the outs. And I'm blessed to be around certain people at the moment that can, uplift me and help me out tremendously. And I'm just here to pass along that to other people.
Totally. Well, kind of going off of that from the mastermind into social media a little bit. We'll dive into that.
Yeah.
The things that you post about, like vent pipes, does paying attention to details like that make you money or just slow you down?
Both. So it makes you
Interesting.
money, because you're trying to prevent mistakes from happening in the build. Because
Right.
when you get to a certain point, if you have to fix that mistake, it will be very costly for you if you didn't, check it in the very beginning.
Totally.
Now, will it slow you down? Yes, it will slow you down. It'll slow you down just a tad bit, but it's still worth it because the ROI, which is the return on investment on that time you're putting into that, is going to be worth it, man. You're not going to make that mistakes, and every build is different. And here's another thing. Coming from a construction background, I'm telling you right now, ADU build are not all the same. Like the shit you see on social media and YouTube and everything, I mean, it's great. They give you kind of like the overview of how things are, foundation, footing, plumbing, etc.
Right.
But every build is different, man.
The glorified version.
Correct. The detail of every single build is different. The plumbing run for every single property is different. The electrical line for every property is different. So keep in mind when you see these things on social media that take it with a grain of salt. But, understand that every build is different and be ready for those things.
Totally. Yeah, I've kind of had a little taste of it when I had my share of time at Shea Homes. People only see the sticks in the ground on the foundation going up, but they don't see what's underneath.
Correct.
Which I thought was great because you got to see them dig holes, put underground like storm, water, sewer, all that, which is a whole different world down there that people don't know about. Now, how did you get into like the whole construction space before?
So growing up, and this is during my college years, me and my wife, we went off to school in LA for pre-med medical. I'm a pre-med student. So medical student, and we truly didn't follow that line because I veer off into doing construction and helping her dad out. Her dad is not a GC, but he is a journeyman. He is a very experienced handyman. So he does a lot of remodel work, restaurant work, nail salon work. So I would just follow him to make extra money while we were in college, just to make it by. And I slowly fell in love with the construction phase. And so for a lot of people who don't know, I actually was all hands-on. Like I can frame, I can do electrical, I can do plumbing. I understand how to finish. So that helps me build out a team for scaling my construction company. And then I slowly just fell in love more and more into construction. And when ADU came around, we learned more about ground up construction. I got my license, and I think it was 2019 or 2020. So I finally got my license, and I went out and did full scale for people and clients, just focusing on ADU builds, for construction.
Wow. Yeah, what a journey from trying to be pre-med to ADU investment. Like anything can change like that.
Anything can change, man. And the biggest thing is I think it's just a blessing in disguise. I mean, as a young man, you grow up not knowing what your true path and careers are.
Right.
And through life experience, it takes you to certain roads that, make you change your mind, and then you maybe, hopefully can find that right path for you that works. For me, it was construction and real estate, and I love it.
Totally. Yeah. Now, from your whole experience up until now, from when you started in construction and now being at the top of your game in ADUs, what's the single hardest lesson you've learned from scaling a 20 million ADU portfolio? Yeah. And what would you do differently if you had to start over, or maybe not?
I would say that probably one of the biggest things that I've learned is how gruesome it can be, how stressful, how much anxiety you can get, how many sleepless nights you have, the kind of stress and the pressure you put on yourself and your family. Sometimes the numbers look great, the success is great when you're there, but the whole process, the road, like I say this on all my podcast tours, but I say, like passive income is not passively built. It's passive when it's built. So the journey of building that passive, the journey to build out the passive income is not easy, bro. Right? It's it's hard. It's hard work. But you have to be like, and you hear this shit all over, social media. You have to be consistent. You have to grind it out. Resilience is a true mindset you got to have to get to that success.
Yeah, totally. And I ask everyone, and it's not for everyone,
It's not, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you said, okay, I'm happy with $10K a month. All right, go get 3 properties, build ADUs on them, and you'll get your $10,000 a month.
Totally.
And you'll be happy with that.
Right.
For me, I feel like I'm very ambitious as a person, and I have high expectation, high goals, high standards. So I always aim for higher, and then once I get to a certain plateau, I always aim again. And I never forget, but Thatch always said that sometimes you're going so fast and you get to the top, you just got to stop and smell the rose a little bit and then go again.
Totally.
Yeah. And so I learned that from him being in his mentorship time, just to stop, enjoy the time that enjoy the process. As much as it's gruesome and stressful, but enjoy that process, because one day you'll look back and you'll be like, damn.
Totally. Something I can relate to on that level was this past weekend I went to the NAREP event for brokers, and the very first Latino astronaut spoke on stage as a guest speaker.
I have his book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And it was a great talk. He's very comedic. Yeah. Great guy. And one thing I took away from him talking was, like what you said, stop and enjoy the journey while you're in it. Yeah. And sometimes I forget, even just starting off, and I'm like, man, like, why did I get into this? Why am I doing this? This is hard, painful. Like, why did I put myself through this? But sometimes you kind of have to step back, like you said, and smell the roses once you're there. Celebrate every small win, so that you can enjoy the journey before you get there.
And it's all mindset, brother. Like, I've been through so much in my short period of lifetime and all the failures, but mindset is one. Having a very positive outlook on things is going to help tremendously, because I can tell you there's so much negativity in the world, and if you're negative on everything, even on a small failure, and you look at things like that, you're not going to be successful, or you're not going to be able to get past that. Me, I look at everything as a positive outlook. So even on a failure, I'll be like, damn, I made that failure, but okay, what did I learn from that? What can I do better next time from that? So having that positive mindset is going to help tremendously, and having the right mindset will carry you through.
Totally. Yeah. So now let's do some real talk. Yeah. So real talk. Are ADUs the future?
Haven't I been talking enough?
Or as we're winding down the episode, real talk. Are ADUs the future of affordable housing here in California, or just another bubble waiting to pop?
Man, everything is a freaking bubble nowadays, dude. Like I hear that shit like everywhere. Real estate's a bubble, stock market's a bubble. Like, let me just be clear. Everything is a bubble waiting to burst. But the opportunity is there right now for ADU, and the affordable housing is helping that play. And the reason I say that is because the living expense and the wages they're not lining up, they're not matching. But if you truly look at affordable housing problem has been around for decades, dude. You're talking about we're talking about history now.
Yeah.
You look back at history, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, people weren't able to afford houses in some places. They still have to rent. So affordability is always going to be an issue. And so having the ADU play does help on alleviating some of that pain point, and does help people try to get into a home or a unit or a property that they actually own easier, right? Than if they were to have to go buy a $1 million plus house right now in San Diego. So I do think that it's going to be around for quite some time. I think that's going to help people get into ownership a lot better. Now that leads me to the next point. And I know we're winding down, but people always ask me, Kevin, is it better to rent or to own? And I would say depends, but both. Both of them have their ups and their downs, dude.
Right.
And so if you're in a position where you just want to financially say, I've owned something, then yeah, go out and own something, dude. And if you have the ability to buy $1 million house, great. If not, maybe look at these ADU places in the future where you can own a property or a place for $600,000, almost like a condo, right? But they're brand new. Right.
Totally.
If you're in a space where you need to rent because instead of paying $9,000 a month for mortgage, you're only paying $6,000 a month, and it's going to help you cash flow better, and you're better in that space, then go rent. So they have their ups and their downs, dude.
Totally.
But the ADU will provide you both. That's the reason why I love ADU play.
Interesting. Yeah. That's good to know. Now, I'm going to leave with one last question before we end it here. So someone that's watching here, what's one piece of advice? Maybe they're trying to start their business. Maybe they're in college, or they just got out of college and they want to make a break into the ADU space or in the real estate industry in general. Yeah. What's one piece of advice you can give them?
If it was me, and I'll give you an advice on if it was giving it to myself. And the advice I would say is that if you can save up some money, not a lot, maybe $5,000 to $10,000, find the right coaching program or the mentorship programs out there. Join that first before you even do anything, because you're gonna end up saving so much money from not losing money, and you're gonna gain so much uplift from that community alone that will help get you through all those dark times.
Totally.
And so I would say the first step is to get you into the right position in the right place, mindset-wise and community-wise. From there, then you can slowly look into your first deal.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. Well, Kevin, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Anytime, brother. I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, dude, we got to do another one. Well, Kevin, again, thanks you again. Man. And to you guys watching, thank you for watching today's episode with our special guest here, Kevin, and we'll catch you on the next one.